All right, so good day, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are when you find this. I hope you're doing well. This is Tafari MLSC's Way Communications Coordinator for the Dignity in Schools campaign. Excited to do another installation of our monthly member spotlight, and we have the very dope, the very amazing, the very phenomenal Drum based in New York City. I know I'm hyping you up a little bit, and y'all deserve it. So I'm here with my good brother Syed, who is a youth organizing fellow with Drum, and we're going to talk a little bit about who Drum is, what Drum's work is, what are some things they're working on right now, a little bit of your story and stuff. So, Syed, if you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you and Drum. What does it stand for, and what is the work that you all
do? My name is Syed. I am a junior in my undergraduate program. I'm studying forensic science and minoring in bio. I am the youth organizing fellow at Drum, Desis Rising Up and Moving. And what Drum does is build people power among the Desi community. And Desi is a word we use collectively for people in South Asia, so like India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, all of those nations. And so we build community power among Desi people in New York City, working class Desi people in New York City. And a majority of our work is around racial justice, immigrant justice, education justice. We have, like, among the recent work that we have been taking on, it's been like the census stuff. In New York, we got the green light bill passed, which allows undocumented people to get driver's licenses now. We also got, like, we weren't a part of the legislation, but in the past we have been part of the fight behind the State Dream Act, which allows undocumented people to get state financial aid.
Nice, fantastic work, beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. And so I know that the Drum has been around since 2000 in the New York area, so y'all almost have 2 decades of work.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Actually, you said you're 19, so it's 19 years, same age as you in a lot of ways. And so my question for you is, as a 19-year-old, how long have you been working with Drum, and what was it about their work that got you into the fold? Like, what made you decide, when there's a lot of other things to get into, that you were going to throw your hat into the ring to work with, poor working class people?
So I started at Drum as a member. So I signed up as a member in 2014, not too long after I moved to New York. I was undocumented, and because of my status, there was like a lot of things that at school, had to experience. Like, my guidance counselor stormed into my class and, like, essentially declared that, oh, you're undocumented, you shouldn't be in that AP class because you probably won't even go to college. And that like had me shook. And
right.
I was like, whoa, okay, I guess then what's the point of coming to high school, if I'm not going to move on to college? And I sort of kind of dropped out. And then I went back because a teacher reached out and was like really nice about it. Once I went back, then the SSAs in the school, or the SROs, however, like, you address them, they started sort of bullying me and harassing me every day on my way to and from school. So, like, once I got out of school, they'd be at the station and regularly go through my bag and, like, separate me from my friends and, like, take me to a corner and, like, ask me questions like, oh, why are you here? Do you even go to school here? And it's the same officers every single day for weeks on end. And then I found out about Drum. So I wasn't too optimistic, but I ended up going to a membership meeting, and I was like, well, all of these people, well, most of the people in this room are undocumented and have had similar struggles. And they're still here, and they're not, like, scared. They're not in the shadows. They're actually talking about their status, speaking to council members about, like, education justice and racial justice. And this was the time when we got the Right to Know Act passed, which essentially stop and frisk in New York City. So like if an officer was stopping you, he didn't have the right to search you without your consent, and he had to give you his business card if he stopped you, so that God forbid anything should go wrong, we know who to hold accountable for it.
Right.
So like watching all of these things happen, it was really powerful to like witness. And I was like, okay, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of like making life easier for like people who are already here and people who are yet to come.
Nice. That's
So
good work.
yeah, and that's how I joined Drum. And then around 2016, I transitioned into our core leadership team, which is the major decision making body in Drum. And last year, around September, I came on as volunteer organizer at Drum.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So how is that? So now, how is that transition into being a part of the leadership team? That's a beautiful story for one. And so now that you're in a place where you're helping shape decisions that affect membership, what's that process and experience been like for you?
It's so when I say the core leadership team is the decision making body, it's not just a group of people sitting there and making the decisions.
Right.
So we are given like given what borough you're from, you as a leader are responsible for like a larger membership. And then you get to collaborate with them and then give them the information that they need to make decisions. And then once you have their decisions, that is what you put forward to the core leadership team. And it's like building with people from all boroughs and like taking on leadership work, like developing young people or developing adults. And it's a really beautiful process, like getting to see people when they have that aha moment, like
Totally.
something
Yeah.
clicks and you see it in their face. It's just amazing. And being a member was one thing, but then actually being able to connect with like a larger membership just completely changed the experience and made it so much better. Like
Nice. Nice.
I yeah, like so much insight from so many people and like people coming from back home, like who knew things about back home that I wasn't aware of, which like again influenced their decisions while they're here.
Yeah, and I get you. I get you. So where is? I know you talked about it earlier that Desi is a term that refers to a broad group that kind of doesn't tie directly to national boundaries or borders. Where's home for you?
Home for me is Bangladesh. I
Okay.
was born in Bangladesh, but I went to boarding school in India.
Gotcha. 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 So, so go ahead. Continue.
But it was like a part of India where there's like a considerable Nepali population. So like I speak Hindi, Urdu, Nepali, Bengali, and English.
Gotcha. 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 And so when did you come stateside?
2014 July.
Okay. Gotcha. So, here's a question for you. What are two or three things? This is changing direction a little bit in the conversation, but connected to this. What are two or three things that you think are really special about the work that Drum does for people, organizations, young folks like yourself? If they're looking for some support in the New York area, what are some things that you come to Drum? Like, what are some things that you all do that you are really proud of?
Um, we are multi-generational, so like people can be in the same room with their parents and grandparents, and then we are able to eliminate like the dynamic that usually runs at home where whatever the parent says is what goes. But then here we see like families have conversations and sometimes contradicting conversations, and like that's also part of their political development. And that's something I'm really proud of. Also, we like a large, how do I put it, like Drum is the only Desi organization, well, there's only two Desi organizations that do this work in the entire country.
Ah,
Drum is
okay.
one, and then the next one is Adhikar, which is literally 2 blocks from our office, which organizes the Nepali community.
Gotcha.
So like being in that space is really special, and seeing that we are able to keep doing policy work while also doing like grassroots organizing, developing people, um, and to put into perspective what that looks like we could be in the city council speaking to council members, but again, on that same day, we could be having like a play out in the community talking about anti-street harassment. And we are able to do both of those things like simultaneously at the same time.
That's amazing. Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Good stuff. Yeah, no, it's really powerful when organizations and people are able to hear and meet the needs of the people. And it sounds like you all are doing a really good job of walking with the folks that you're working with, walking with your friends, with your family, with your cousins. And that's how we build movements together. It's by actually being together. And so, yeah, no, I'm really, really, really glad that we're getting the
Mhm.
chance to elevate this work and the work that you all are doing. And so, for people that aren't in New York, and for people who are looking to learn more, how can they connect with Drum? What are things that we can do to support your work?
Um, Obviously, spreading the word helps. And given the way that, our organizations are set up, and given the way that the current capitalist system is set up, you don't have what you need to do what you need to do.
Right.
So that's like major one. And if folks outside of this city maybe want to come visit or want to know more about Drum, go on the website. All of our contacts are there. People have specific questions, and all of our campaigns are listed out. And the website is pretty regularly updated. So people can find all the information they need, and there's contact if they have.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for your time, for your energy, for your work. This has been a pleasure. Definitely, you all heard the message. If you want to learn more about Drum's work, visit their website, follow their social media. They update it. It's good. It's quality stuff. We didn't get a lot into some of the programming that they do. That's because I want y'all to get excited about it to go check it out. A youth power program and a whole host of other things that are doing some really, really, really phenomenal work. So my last question for you is, you all are doing if I recall correctly, you all are doing some story gathering and stuff right now too, right, around bullying. Can you share a little bit about
Hmm.
that? And that'll tie us up and close us down for the day.
Hmm. So, the way bullying is phrased, at least by the NYC DOE, it only shows up as peer to peer or student to student, right? But there's also instances like what happened to me, my guidance counselor coming in and like talking about my status, even though I didn't consent to it, or like the SSAs in my schools constantly going through my bag. And there's like other people who have had several other experiences leading them to like getting suspended or having to drop out, right? Or not feeling safe in school. So how
Right.
do we address these issues if it's not even put structurally like in the DOE? So a part um, of like starting that work is actually gathering stories from people who have had similar experiences with institutionalized bullying, where the institutions and like people in positions of power can bully parents or teachers or students, right? And getting those stories together to show that okay, this is an issue. Now, how do we actually do policy work to change that? So we have developed a website where people can um, just click and it's really interactive. It lets you put in your story and it has different questionnaires for different people. So different ones for students, for parents, for staff, so teachers and stuff, where they can enter their stories. And then we are able to publicize that on the website.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Good stuff. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. So yeah, I'll make sure that folks who check this out get links to that kind of stuff. And again, if you're interested, go check out drumnyc.org. Desis rising up and moving. Thank you, Syed, for your time, for your energy
Of
again.
course.
Department of Seasway, the schools campaign, one of our favorite members, Drum. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.